And let me ask you a question. When choosing a smartphone to buy, what are the two most important specifications you consider? Now let me guess, cameras and processor. And that takes me to the next question, and that is, what happens in a situation where you have phones like the Tecno Spark 20 and the Redmi 13C that has the same MediaTek Hello G85 processor and the same 50 megapixel camera specification? Now, when you're choosing which of these two phones gives you better value for your money, I guess in this case, it just boils down to the little things that one can give you that the other doesn't. Take for example, when you're unboxing the two phones, you're going to notice that the Redmi 13C doesn't come with a pouch in it. So that means if you want to buy this phone, you should prepare an extra 5,000 naira to get a case for yourself. Or secondly, when it comes to speakers, the Tecno Spark 20 comes with dual speakers, while the Redmi 13C comes with single down-firing speakers. So what that means is that you will be getting better audio output with the Tecno Spark 20 than with the Redmi 13C. Let's check that out. Yeah, so as you can see, the Tecno Spark 20 gives you louder and better sound output than the Redmi 13C. And of course, when you're using your phone to listen to music or play games, the louder, the better. Now, another very noticeable difference between these two phones is in the display. Even though they both come with the same IPS LCD display with 720 pixel resolution, the fact is that the Redmi 13C gives you a 6.74 inches screen size, while the Tecno Spark 20 gives you a 6.6 inches. Now, while this may be subjective in the case of those who don't like big phones, but for others who like to watch movies or play games, I guess the bigger, the better. Another edge that the Redmi 13C gives is the fact that the screen on this device comes with a Corning Gorilla Glass protection from light scratches. So if I'm going to use these two phones over the same period of time, you're going to notice more scratches on the screen of the Tecno Spark 20 than on the Redmi 13C. So when you consider these little things, the Redmi 13C obviously have a better display. Now, like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to processing power, we have the MediaTek Hello G85 running the show on both devices. And both units I have here comes with 4 gigs of RAM that can be expandable up to 8 gigs. They also both have the same 128 gig of internal storage space, and the memory card extension slot can support up to 512 gigabytes. Currently in the market, you can get the Tecno Spark 20 for about 112,000, while the Redmi 13C goes for about 105,000. So honestly, in terms of pricing, they are also very quite close. It is the same with battery. Both devices comes with a 5000 mAh battery along with an 18 watts fast charger that takes just about the same 2 hours to get both phones from 0 to 100%. But when it comes to software update, the story changes slightly. And I say slightly because the probability of getting Android 14 is higher with the Redmi 13C than with the Tecno Spark 20. Now, when it comes to cameras, even though both phones have the same 50 megapixel main camera, there is something I noticed when it comes to processing. For example, pictures taken by the Redmi 13C tends to have this very warm feel to it, while those taken by the Tecno Spark 20 has this vivid feel to it. Now, both pictures look decent in their own ways. I guess it all boils down to the feel that you kind of resonate more with. But since we're talking about what one phone has to offer over the other, the fact is that if you're a content creator, you definitely will prefer the cameras in the Tecno Spark 20. And that's because it comes with a Pro mode that allows you to tweak some parameters like the white balance, ISO, to suit whatever environment you are shooting with. But you don't get that functionality with the camera in the Redmi 13C. But on the other hand, if you are a photographer, you definitely prefer the Redmi 13C because it does better HDR processing, as you can see in this picture right here. Now, another thing you get better with the Tecno Spark 20 is the fact that you can shoot video at 2K 30 frames per second, while the maximum you get for the Redmi 13C is 1080p at 30 frames per second. But when you switch to the selfie cameras, that is where you notice a little bit of magic. Now, I said magic because we're comparing an 8 megapixel sensor to a 32 megapixel sensor. So really, when it comes to cameras, at the end of the day, it just depends on what you want. The Tecno Spark 20 gives you a little bit more than the Redmi 13C in terms of videos. But when it comes to pictures, honestly, you get better pictures with the Redmi 13C. So at the end of it all, what do you think? Which of these two phones will give you better value for money depending on your needs? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And also, please don't forget to give this video a like so that YouTube gets to push it to other people. And you, yes you, hit on the subscribe button so that you get to see more reviews like this one.